dispensed. The question is that the motion be agreed to, and I call the member for Riverina.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and I listened closely to the member for Wentworth talking about small business in her contribution, and note that just now the Fair Work Commission has awarded a 3.75% pay rise to 2.6 million minimum wage and award-reliant workers. The cost of business is getting harder for those small business operators, for those employers right across the country. In its annual wage decision, the Commission full bench, headed by Adam Hatcher, the President, said the increase factored in cost of living pressures felt by households. And we know, right across this parliament, right across this nation, that there is a cost of living crisis. And we know that Labor became aware of the cost of living crisis and started talking about it, moreover, on Monday, 16 October last year. That was the first sitting day after the Voice, after the referendum which divided the nation. You didn't hear about a cost of living crisis whilst the Voice referendum was being debated across this country. Labor didn't want to know about it, and if they did know about it, they weren't talking about it. But all of a sudden, when the Voice was lost, Labor started to pretend it cared. And we know Labor does not care about the cost of living pressures on households, on small businesses. All Labor cares about is getting re-elected. All Labor cares about is payback to their union puppet masters. That's the Labor way. That is the Labor way, and whilst I respect the member for Paterson, I do. We do some great work together as co-chairs of the Parliamentary Friends of Soil. For those members who aren't in it, they should be. But we know, in another contribution I certainly will tell you more, but I will say that people across this wide brown land are now poorer thanks to Labor, now feel less safe thanks to Labor, and that is certainly the case. Cost of health has risen by 9%. Cost of food, every time you go to the supermarket, it's costing you 10% more. You're getting less in the grocery trolley than what you were previously, when certainly there was a coalition government in government. Cost of education up 11%. Cost of housing 12%. And we've got construction companies across the nation going bankrupt, going out of business, just shutting up shop. It's hard to get a tradie. It's hard to get the supplies to actually build a house, and yet Labor continues with getting more migrants in. And I'm not against that, but we need to do it in moderation. We need to do it sensibly. We need to do it such that there isn't the pressure, certainly on urban housing demand, because heavens knows they're not coming to the regions where, in many cases, most cases, all cases, they would be welcome and there are jobs there for them, and indeed cheaper rent, cheaper housing. Cost of public transport is up 13%. Cost of power, electricity, 18% increase since the coalition lost office. Cost of gas, 25%. We know those opposite don't like gas anyway. And the cost of insurance up 26%. That is hurting each and every individual, each and every small business right across the nation. And what do we get? What do we get in the budget? We get a public servant-led recovery. 36,000 more public servants. And I'm not against public servants. They do a great job. I know I've been a minister in many portfolios and I've seen the great work that they do. But when these decisions cost $24.4 billion over the 4-year forward estimates to increase the amount of public servants, to increase the amount of bureaucracy, it hurts. And it hurts taxpayers right across the nation. It hurts people who are already being told to pull their belts in, to make sure that they rein in their expenses. And yet they see in this great capital city of ours, and it is a great capital city, they see the beautiful roads, they see the increasing number of public servants, and they wonder why they are having to foot the bill. Well, they're footing the bill because Labor's in power. They're footing the bill because Labor doesn't know how to govern properly for all Australians, and I say that is a terrific shame.
Thank the member for Riverina, and I give the call to the member for